All right, I'm here to talk about karmic loops. This is something that I have much experience with. Karmic loops. These are patterns of behavior that continuously come up until the distortion of mind is completely seen, basically. So basically, like, what karmic loops are things in your life that are recurring experiences that keep you in a cycle of basically a cycle of continuous thinking in the same way. So what they're trying to do is to get you to see a situation from another point of view and to accept a situation for what it is and to let it go. So basically, the way to resolve karmic loops is to notice what the loop is and then be conscious of it enough to where you can consciously notice when it comes up again in your future and then change it. So a little bit of background on karmic loops. They can be through relationships with people. They can be through life experiences. They can be through constant things that happen that seem to be really miraculously weird, I guess, if you want to call it that. Like they get more and more and more intense as it goes on, and the more that you don't learn the lesson, the more intense the actual lesson gets. So it gets to a point after many lifetimes where the catalyst for growth can be something that is extremely harsh, and it can be something that's extremely painful for you because of how many lifetimes that you've not been able to resolve that issue. So like for me, I had a few karmic loops that were really, really big that was very hard for me to get over. One of them was it had to do with the fear of death. And that loop was that I would lay down at night, and then right before I was about to go to sleep, I would get into the state of fear that I was so afraid of going to sleep, that because I thought that I wouldn't wake up, or that there wasn't anything beyond that, right? And this is before I had any kind of a spiritual awakening, and when I was mostly atheistic and just really nihilistic, I guess. So like I just assumed, or I didn't really assume either, like I did so much contemplation, and I couldn't figure out how it was possible for anything to be after death, because I didn't have any memories of dying before. So like I didn't think that was possible or anything like that. And then next thing I know, like I'd say about a year ago, I started having past life regressions, and I started having huge dark nights of the soul and things like that, resolving a whole bunch of karmic loops all at one time. And it got to the point where it was so unbearable that I became just absolutely depressed, to the point where I learned what suicidal like tendencies were like for people, and it was not fun. But I did learn a lot from it. I learned that for one, fear is illusory. So what would happen was, like, I would sit there and I'd be watching something on YouTube or something, and I would lose my association with myself. So I'd be starting to have the things of ego death, but like it wasn't loving ego death. Like it was like I was being shown all of the negative things that I've done in all of my past lifetimes, and all of the cumulations of how all of that stuff has come up to this exact point that I was at right then. And it was almost completely overwhelming for me. Like I literally could not handle the negativity that I accumulated in my past. So I gave into it, and I just let myself go. And I felt a tremendous sense of relief after that. And my karmic loops started just resolving themselves, because I became so aware of everything that I was doing because of all these regressions of past lifetimes. It's just like memories of like doing all these things so many times over and over again, and just like being noticeable of the loops that I've been in my entire life, and the things that I do that just are just constant loops of insanity, right? And So basically, like that was my experience with the whole karmic loop things in just like a very, very small portion. But the way to resolve these karmic loops is to be completely knowledgeable. So, or not knowledgeable. You have to be noticeable of yourself. So like you have to start like looking at yourself and what you do, and you have to start looking at it from a backed up point of view, away from your ego. And then what'll happen is that you'll start noticing these loops of patterns of things that you do that are just like if you were to watch somebody else do them, then you'd be like, why are you even doing that? Like, that makes no sense. But yet you do it at the same time because it's unconscious. So once you start looking at everything that you're doing, then you'll be able to see these patterns of of continuous recycling of thoughts and feelings and emotions, and you'll start to be able to disidentify from those. So like another thing is that a good way to see karmic patterns is to connect thoughts with emotions, and to realize that these thoughts and emotions that you're feeling when it comes down to like heavy emotional things that happen from karmic ties, just like that you can back up from that, and then like once you disidentify from that emotional connection that you have to that karmic tie, then you'll be able to look at it from a more clear point of view, and you'll be able to resolve that much quicker. But that's just a really quick overview on karmic ties, and just once again I'll go into this a little bit deeper. Also, this is just like trying to get some information out there so that I can at least have something to show for everything that I've been trying to do. I have so much information to be able to give to you. I just I have to be able to organize it in my brain and put it out there in a organized fashion that's going to be presentable for the world. So hopefully I'll be able to do that as quick as possible, and I'm just going to film a bunch of videos where I talk about this stuff, and we'll just see where it goes. But thank anybody who's watching for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day and a wonderful life. I'm just grateful to be alive, Hard times, yes, but gratefulness and thankfulness and compassion and joy and kindness are the greatest cure